I wasted about 6 years of my life to try to get an associate's degree, and then I figured I really wanted to get a major in unemployment, so I went back for another 4 years, and I got a bachelor's in theater, which was awesome. Especially, some of you are like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, you know who really likes that? The bank. They really like to call me, they're like, so, how's Broadway going there, Buster? Just fine, thanks. I happen to be doing very well for myself. I have 2 jobs. That's right, I beat the expectation by 200%. Suck it, ramen. I always, my 2 jobs are surprising. You'd think someone who wasted the time to go for school for theater would be a Walmart greeter. No, I updated. I work at Target. My products cost 4 cents more on the dollar, and I don't have to stand at the door to get the carts. No, I might have a radio, and they radio me, and they go, all right, which one of you dumbasses is going to go out there and get a cart? And because, again, me. So I am the one who scrambles out there to go do that. But my other job is, surprisingly enough, I'm a substitute teacher, which means that, thank you. I bet you're a teacher too, or someone who works in the education or has children.
You gotta leave that profession.
That's what I was told about theater, and I tried it, and I just got to hit the wall myself. I really do. And I love substituting because, first of all, my name is David Mann, so I'm Mr. Mann. I automatically, exactly. Look at this physique and tell me the kids don't go. What actually happens when I walk into the classroom now is I've divided my time between about 5 classrooms. I'm the cool uncle. I waltz into the room, and what I usually try to do now is, I'm not allowed to do this anymore, but I really enjoyed it. I always show up 5 minutes late for class, just to show up the teacher. So like, I'd make an entrance, I'd just floosh it open, again, 4 years of theater degree, not wasted. I'd enter with a flourish. And the students would all go, Mr. Mann, Mr. Mann! They'd all run, and the reason why is because Mr. Mann's a really easy name to remember. It's Mr. Mister twice. Realistically, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to remember that, and when they don't, we all make fun of them for it. And it's not the place of teachers to make fun of people. I don't do that. Because I was that same kid who didn't know my teacher's name till I graduated, and when they're handing me my diploma, like, well, we're moving on to 6th grade. Thank you, Mrs. Lady. We're moving on to the next thing. But if you're ever in Target, first of all, talk to the people in the red shirts and the khakis, please. Nothing makes me feel more useless in life when I'm standing there and I'm like, hi, how are you? And someone gives me the answer of, what does that mean? What does that mean? No, seriously, I ask you, I have wasted more than 17 hours of company time sitting there in the aisle going, man, are they looking for something? Are they lost? Should I have called 911? I've done none of those things. Instead, I pursue the person, because now they're going to be my friend. Because if you're not going to talk to me, I'm going to talk to you. And they like that, actually. They like when we talk to the customers. So seriously, if someone at Target ever asks you, how are you doing, just say, fine, thank you, and just keep walking. We do want to help you, though, because there's nothing I like more than using my 6 years of college to sort boxes. And what I feel even worse about is I've put the same box of Clorox this week back on the shelf. Someone is looking at it and goes, yes, we need this at home. No. And I don't know why it is, cleaning products wind up in the food section. Those 2 things, and everyone in this audience should know this, and if you don't, bleach and chicken, they're not ingredients that should be in the same cocktail. Unless you don't want someone to come back to dinner next time. That was the first time I cash registered, someone came up to me and they had just a pound of chicken and a bottle of Clorox, and the person looks at me and goes, you can put them in the same bag. Someone's watching me. This is a test, I know it. It wasn't. And I didn't, by the way, bag them in the same bag. I'm not incompetent that much. But one of the other things that kills me at work is this impulse that people have to run down the aisles and knock everything over. Why do you do that? I don't know. I didn't do it, but some of you must, because I sit here and I waste my time going aisle to aisle, just fixing every box. None of them are removed. They're just angled like a 45 degree. In fact, if you're ever really mad at a store, like your kid works there, just walk over to one aisle and make sure it's like the big display and just turn it just slightly. Because some manager is watching the security tape and they're gonna go, "We have to fix that. Something's out of order." Something I also really enjoy is when I see my kids at Target, because then it's Mr. Man at school, I don't have to listen to him, he's a substitute, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Uh-oh, he knows where my Christmas presents come from." Because some of them know it, and that was one of my favorite things. One day, the first day I went with one of my students, "Mr. Man, you can't tell me shit." And I stopped and I said, "You're in the first grade. Just settle it down there, buddy. This is the letter C." And later, we're in Target and I'm ringing him out, and all of a sudden he looks up and he sees me ringing out the things, and I just smiled at him. And his mother goes, "Oh, do you know Ricky?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And then we haven't broken eye contact yet. I'm not talking to her, I'm talking to him. And she goes, "Oh, how's he doing in school?" "Just fine." "You owe me." And I love doing that to him. It was a great thing. There's one last thing I want to close with, and that's everyone needs to be free, and I do understand that. Freedom is a great thing. Just don't yell at your customer associates, don't yell at your teachers, don't yell at that guy who drives the bus. It's not our fault, really. It's the people in the suits who make all the big decisions. It's okay. And the other thing is the expressions of these freedoms that we have. And I want to finish with one of the biggest expressions of freedom I've ever seen. A student felt free enough mentally where he was sitting at his desk and he dropped his paper on the floor and everyone was like looking at him. And then he felt free enough, he placed his head on the desk and was looking at the piece of paper very intently. And what came out of his mouth was this. For 4 minutes. And I felt that he needed that, so I wasn't going to interrupt him. His arms are too short to reach the piece of paper. He's not going to stand up. And for the love of God, I had to eat dirt as a kid. He has to bend down and pick up his own paper. My name is David Mann, and this has been my time. Thank you very much.